Hey everyone, welcome to your practice today. We will begin laying on our backs, which is my favorite way to start. So start with your knees bent. I swear I do have shorts on, so don't be alarmed. Start with your knees bent to allow the sacrum to settle. And then if it's comfortable to extend the heels away from the crown of the head, you can do that. If that causes any discomfort in your lower back, you can keep the knees bent, take the feet wide, and let the knees fall together. We'll take a moment to check in with ourselves before we get moving. Bring your awareness to your breath. And notice the quality of the breath before your practice. Notice if your chest feels tight or open. If the breath is short or long. If the inhales or the exhales bear more weight. And then we'll take a moment to intentionally deepen the breath. As you inhale, allow the breath to expand, filling the whole torso. And as you exhale, sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Next inhale, breathing all the way into the upper back, top part of the lungs, which is almost into the top of the shoulders and neck. And as you exhale completely, allow the body to soften and spread wide across the floor. Have one more of those deep, long breaths, feeling the diaphragm expand down at the same time that the lungs are expanding up to the height of the collarbone. And exhale, see what you can let go of. And then we'll scan the physical body from the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. Inhale and pull the awareness up through the legs, into the pelvis, the hips, the low back. Notice any areas of tension, soreness, general discomfort, and inhale deeply into those places, gently opening and expanding them with the in-breath. And exhale completely, allowing some of that tension to leave the body with the breath. Next inhale pulls the awareness up the torso, into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Again, just noticing where in the upper body you're holding tension today, and using the breath to bring the awareness there. Allowing the inhales to make space, inviting fresh blood and oxygen into those areas, bringing health, healing, and vitality. And as you exhale completely, continue the conversation of consciously asking the body to soften, release, and let go. Lastly, check in with the mind. Notice where your thoughts are at. Notice the speed at which they move through you. Step back from identifying as the thoughts and begin to witness their passing through the mind like clouds through the sky, without getting attached or carried away. without judging yourself for what you're thinking about, but beginning to notice the habits and patterns in the way the mind turns and in the way you speak to yourself. And then bring the awareness back and anchor it fully on your breath. Have 3 more of those deep, long breaths, expanding the torso to the bottom of the abdomen and to the top of the sternum and the rib cage. And as you exhale, softening into the support of the ground beneath you, feeling the stacking of the bones and joints in the back body plane, connecting to that blueprint for optimal alignment, where the skeletal system can support us so that the organs and the muscles don't have to work so hard, and so that the energy can flow through us optimally, bringing that health, healing, vitality to all parts and layers and levels of our being. And then with an inhale, you can reach your arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, bend the knees and ground the feet. Exhale, roll onto the right side body. Press down with the palms to lift up. And come to a comfortable seated position. Keeping the eyes closed for just another moment. Looking for that same alignment that we created, laying on our backs. Use the awareness to build the pose from the ground up. It might feel good to inner rotate the thigh bones to move the flesh of the buttocks out. Feeling and finding the sits bones right at the base of the spine. And as you inhale deeply, lift through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. And as you exhale, soften the shoulders together, down, and into the back body. Good. So we're focusing on the alignment in the neck and throat, site of the 5th chakra, the Shuddha, which means purification. And it is associated with the element of sound. So in this moment of complete, justified fear and panic, we can find agency in how we use our voice and in what stories we choose to tell, in what emotions and visions we choose to call into being. And throughout this whole thing, while I'm going up and down through the waves of being this is super chill, I love staying at home, I love gardening, I love being outside, and then being oh my God, my throat hurts, I'm gonna die, I have been trying to remember to look for the opportunities and the possibilities and to not allow myself to pay too much attention. While I want to be well informed, I don't want to spiral off into, just fear, because keeping our vibration high and our energy contained is important to our health and vitality. All this being said, I also think, and I've said it in a few other classes, that we are at this crucial moment collectively where we're really able to see the flaws of the system that we've been working in, as if we hadn't already seen them. And that we have the opportunity to be in solidarity with one another, to recognize our collective power and potential, and also to call another world into being. So to focus on the changes that we can make within ourselves in this moment that will have an effect on the changes that we can make in the collective system, ideology, dream, and vision moving forward. And sometimes things seem really out there and vague, so always trying to like ground it in the body and ground it in actions that we can take in our daily lives. The alignment in the neck, the curve, there's a curve in the cervical spine which reflects the curve of the lumbar spine and the lower back, symbolizing the connection between the macro and the micro levels of our being. So how we speak to ourselves, what stories we choose to tell, stories of victimization or stories of creative potential. And also like the visions we enact for the future are going to have an effect on the larger energy, potential, and possibility of what we can do. Specifically, lately, it seems like if it's possible for you to ask for deferments on any of your mortgage, rent, bills, payments, it will, even if you have the money right now to pay, it's an act of solidarity with those that don't, so that we are collectively on the same page, withdrawing our consent, our energy, and our investment from the system that is not serving us, giving us more power to create something different. Okay. So we are going to chant today, because chanting or sound is the element of the 5th chakra, and the vibrations shake up and clear out the places where the energy is getting stuck within us. This has to do physically with like sickness and health, but it also is like energetically where the mind gets stuck. Today we will do a super simple chant, So Hum, I am that, connecting to this divine spark that animates and connects all things. We'll Om 3 times together. I'll lead the chant in call and response. I encourage and invite you to join in, even if it makes you feel uncomfortable. Maybe paying attention to where that discomfort lives in your body and what memories, feelings, sensations come up and why you feel uncomfortable, okay? With an inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale through the mouth with sound. Again, like that, inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Inhale to prepare for the sound of Om. Good, and then there's a little melody in how I've learned this chant. So I'll do it and then I'll let you know when it's your turn. And what I love about this chant, So Hum, is that like consciousness, it includes everything and negates nothing. So the good, the bad, the ugly, the fear, the pain is all a part of this divine process unfolding. And then the silence, pausing to feel the vibrations resonate through the body. Again, noticing where sound gets stuck, where the body constricts. All of these practices just helping us to gather information about what is happening within us so that we can return to balance and center and alignment within ourselves and the universe. We'll do a pranayama to further this process of purification. We'll do Kapalabhati, skull shining breath, a series of short, sharp exhales through the nose made by pumping the abdomen in and up. So first, just inhale deeply through the nose, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Exhale completely, slide the jawbone back, chin parallel to the earth. Inhale to prepare, and good, return to the normal breath. Again, just pausing to observe the effects of the pranayama, of the breath work on the energy in your body. And then you can begin to circle the head in one direction. Breathing into those places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And then circle your head in the other direction. Again, just observing what is happening in this area of your body in this moment. Good. With an inhale, return to center. Take the right hand to the outer left side of your head. Roll both shoulders together and down the back, and then let the weight of the hand stretch out the neck. And you can move your head in any way that feels good to you and try to find the deepening of the stretch. And then extend the left arm out, palm facing up. Stretch through the fingertips. Feel that stretch that comes into the upper arm here. Because it's all connected, the neck, the shoulder, the arms, right? Have one more big breath. And return to center. Take the left hand to the outer right side of the head. Keep the shoulders drawn together and down the back, and then drop the ear towards the left shoulder. Moving the head in any way that feels good to you. Deepening that stretch. Extend the right hand out, palm facing up, stretch through the fingertips. Feel that stretch in the right arm. Have one more deep, long breath. And inhale to center. Interlace the hands, bring them behind your head. Drop the chin to the chest and allow the weight of the arms to stretch out the back of your neck. Still keeping the shoulders drawn together and down away from the ears. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Inhale to center. Switch out the crossing of the fingers. This time turning the palms to face up on the top of the head. Inhale, stretch the arms up. And then gaze up, stretching out through the front of the throat as you pull the pinky fingers and the thumbs down towards your face. Have 3 breaths here. And then inhale to center and exhale, release. Good, we'll come onto our hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide, ground the knees right under the hips. Turn your biceps forward and feel how that rolls the shoulders back and opens and broadens through the collarbone and throat. If you don't feel it, you can turn your biceps back towards the body and see what that does in the neck and throat. Remembering that we're always looking to create space. As you inhale, drop the abdomen down, lift the tailbone and the gaze. As you exhale, press down and curl the spine to the ceiling. Continue at your own pace. Sync the motions of the body with the breath. Use the breath to deepen the motions of the body. Allow this synchronicity to bring you fully and completely into the present moment. Move in any way that feels good to you here within the confines of the shapes. Allowing the mind to connect and receive the wisdom of the body and observe the spine. Notice the places that are hypermobile and tend to crunch, as well as the places that are stuck and move in chunks. Lengthen from tailbone to crown to create more fluidity and uniform curve in the spine as you work. And then when you're ready, you can tuck your toes and lift your hips high, press back, downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal your feet and sway your hips and move in any way that feels good to you here for a moment. And then find stillness, connecting with and building the shape from the ground up. Hands and feet evenly grounded. Outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. As you inhale, lift and spread the fingers and toes. Lift the abdomen and lift the hips high. As you exhale, grounding down, press through, press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Feel how that action creates space in the lower back. If your lower back is rounded because your hips are tight, you might want to bend the knees here. But we press the thigh bones up and back to lengthen the lower back, and then let the head hang heavy. Remembering that the curve in the neck, the lower back, the curve in the neck is a reflection of the curve in the lower back. Have one more big breath. And with an inhale, go forward into your plank pose. Finding that lift from the underside of the pose, particularly the abdomen lifting to the spine, and the back of the ribs have to lift to meet the shoulder blades. Then we can roll the shoulders down the back and extend the crown of the head forward. Those muscles between the shoulder blades support the shoulder blades and the head and neck. Have one more big breath. And exhale, lower the knees, the chest, and the chin to the floor. Pause here with the booty lifted, feeling that curve in the lower back, pressing down into the palms to roll the shoulders back. Have one more breath. And then exhale, press the tops of the feet down. Inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Everything on the ground presses firmly down into the ground to lift the heart and crown. Notice if you are crunching into one part of your neck, maybe drop the chin down a little bit. With an inhale, center, exhale, gaze to the right. Drawing your left shoulder back. Inhale to center, exhale, gaze to the left, drawing your right shoulder back. Do that a few more times on your own, feeling the connection between the head, neck, and shoulders, right? So we have to create balance so that we can move the head without the shoulder coming with us. This is important in a lot of poses. With an exhale, press feet to heels, come back to child's pose. Allow the energy of the hips to settle towards the heels. And from that grounding, breathe length and space into your spine. Exhale. Soften more deeply into the stretch. Take the hands as wide as the shoulders and press firmly into the palms to bring energy into the arms. Pull from the fingertips to the center of the back of the heart to draw the shoulders away from the ears, making space in the neck and throat. Turn the biceps up and soften the center of the shoulder blades and the outer armpits down. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Feeling, finding, remembering this alignment in the shoulders, neck, hands, arms for downward dog and other inversions. And then with an inhale, rise, hands and knees, gaze up. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips high, press back, downward facing dog. Again, if your hips are tight, take a slight bend in the knees. Either way, everybody lift and spread the fingers and toes. Feel how that draws the energy up the arms and legs. Lift the abdomen and lift the booty high. Exhale the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. Lengthening the lower back. Allow the head to hang heavy. Pressing into the palms to engage the arms and lift them away from the floor. Pull from the fingertips to the center of the back of the heart, drawing the shoulders away from the ears. Take the center of the shoulder blades up and back to the thigh bones. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then with an inhale, begin to walk the feet forward to meet the hands. Come into that standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Let your head hang heavy. Shake it out, yes, and no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to you here to release tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. Allow it to drain out through the crown of the head, making space on the inside. With an inhale, return to center. And exhale, release the arms down. With your next inhale, begin to roll up. The pelvis spins around the femurs. The vertebrae stack. The shoulders and the head are the last things to rise. Good. And so we just want to always connect with our alignment from the ground up. Because the curve of the lower back is reflected in the curve of the neck, if the pelvis gets hunched over from too much sitting, right, you see the shoulders hunch over. Similarly, if we're just not aligned and engaged in the pelvis and legs, we can't lift and lengthen through the neck and spine, right? So we're gonna take our thigh bones, we'll start with our feet as wide as our hips, outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. You're gonna take your thigh bones back a little bit, sticking your booty out, accentuating and creating that curve in the lower back as you bring the center of the hips over the knees and ankles. Keeping the thigh bones back like that, we draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down so that we can lift the pelvic floor, the pelvic triangle, the frontal hip bones, lift through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. The tips of the ears was a very helpful thing for me. So I was like, how am I supposed to lift my head, right? And having the chin parallel to the floor but the jawbone slides back. So most of us are like anxiety about the future. We're like here. So pulling back. And we're gonna do sun salutation A. Today we're gonna arch back in it to open the throat. But we wanna remember that we're grounding down through the tailbone so that as we inhale, lift up, lift the arms, lift the gaze, lift the sternum, lean back. We're creating more of a uniform curve in the spine. We're not here, right? And then with an exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank pose, and lift the back of the ribs to meet the shoulder blades. Extend the crown of the head forward and keep that one line of energy through your body as you exhale and lower. You can do the knees or chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Center of the buttocks hugs into the midline and center of the shoulder blades. Beware of just crunching into your neck and create length through the back of the neck. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to your breath. Allow the breath to be deep and long. Cultivate that ujjayi breath. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose while tightening up the back of the throat like you're fogging up a mirror. Allow the breath to become gently audible, like waves crashing on the shore, to provide a focal point to steady the mind. With an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your side. Again, thigh bones back, tailbone rooting down towards the heels. Inhale, arms reach up. Lift the sternum, lift the gaze, lean back. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine, shoulders back. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that lift of the shoulder blades and the back of the head. Keep that as you exhale and lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Biceps turn forward. Center of the shoulders into the midline. Back of the neck long. Exhale, lift the hips. Return to the breath. Good. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana. One more time. Rooting the tailbone down. Inhale, reach the arms up. Center of the buttocks into the midline. Center of the shoulders into the midline as you lean back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, shoulders back. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back. Lift the muscles between the shoulder blades and head. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to the breath. As you inhale, draw the energy in and up from the floor to the core. Lift and spread the fingers and toes. Lift the abdomen, lift the hips high. As you exhale, thigh bones back. Low ribs up and back to the thigh bones. Biceps turn forward to create space in the neck and throat. Center of the shoulder blades up and back to the thigh bones. Head hangs heavy for one more breath. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. Inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, chair pose. Same action, sticking your booty out to get low. Rooting your tailbone down to lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. Stretch through the fingertips. Soften the shoulders down. And soften the low ribs down and back. Have one more breath. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Remembering to listen to your body and to choose the adventure that is appropriate for you today. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Lift from the inner thigh in the center of the heel. Press the left thigh bone back, creating that balance and evenness in the pelvis. One more big breath. And exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise, warrior one at the top of your breath. Hug your legs towards each other energetically to bring the hips to face forward. Root the tailbone down. Lift the abdomen, the heart, the crown. And then exhale the hands behind your back. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the sternum. Exhale, fold forward on the inside edge of that front leg for bowing warrior. Nothing changes in the lower body. Make any adjustments you need to make to bring balance and evenness to the pelvis. Draw the shoulders together and down the back away from the ears. Let the head hang heavy, back of the neck long, as you draw the arms towards the front of the room or the mat. Have one more big breath here. And exhale, release, ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Again, your choice. With an inhale, lift the left leg high. Lift from the inner thigh in the center of the heel. Exhale and press that right thigh bone back. Lift the abdomen to create, to stack the bones and joints. And then with your next exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise. Warrior one at the top of your breath. Scissoring the legs energetically towards each other to bring the hips to face forward. Root the tailbone down to lift the whole front body up. Reaching through the fingertips and the crown of the head as you soften the shoulders down the back. With your next exhale, interlace the hands, switching out the crossing of the fingers. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the sternum. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Finding that alignment in the pelvis that allows you to breathe length and space into both side bodies. Shoulders draw down the back, away from the ears. Back of the neck is long as the arms pull away from the back body. One more breath. And exhale, release. Round the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Your choice. Wherever you find yourself, return to your breath. Again, we're having problems with Facebook Live. So I'm going to try to go back and fix it while you guys stay with your breath. Why every time? Okay, let's try again. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply over the legs. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Again, inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, chair pose. Thigh bones back to get low. Tailbone grounds down so we can lift the frontal hip bones and the crown. Shoulders soften together and down the back. Low ribs soften down and back the front. One more big inhale and exhale, fold. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Find that lift between the shoulder blades and the back of the head. Feel free to press back to downward dog or take a vinyasa. With an inhale, lift the right leg high, and this time bend the knees, stack the hips, open up through the side body plane. With each inhale, the abdomen lifts towards the spine and that right knee lifts high. Exhale, that left thigh bone still presses back. Center of the shoulder blades still lift up and back towards that thigh bone. With your next inhale, bring the leg to center. Exhale, step through between the hands. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, open it to the side. Warrior two. Stack that front knee right over the front ankle. Back thigh bone inner, rotate slightly, and both thigh bones press back. With the tailbone rooting down right between the sits bones. Inhale, reach that left arm around behind the back, right arm lifts up. Gaze up. 3 breaths. And exhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat. Step back. Move through a vinyasa. Or come to down dog or child's pose. With an inhale, the left leg high. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the left knee. Exhale, right thigh bone back. Center of the shoulder blades up and back to the thigh bone. With your next inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, step through between the hands. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, open to the side, warrior two. I look like I have no pants on. Good. Front knee stacks over the ankle. Back thigh bone, slight inner rotation. Both thigh bones press back. Tailbone grounds right between the sits bones. Inhale, lift the left arm up, reach the right arm around behind the back. Gaze is up, but shoulders roll down the back. Space in the neck and throat, 3 breaths. And inhale, cartwheel the hands to the mat, step back. Exhale, lower, or come to down dog or child's pose. Wherever you're working, stay with your breath. Allow the breath to be deep and long. Feel how that balance and evenness in the breath brings balance and evenness into the heart rate and the speed of the thoughts through the mind. Have one more big breath here. Meeting in down dog if you're not already there. And then with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall. Tadasana, mountain pose. Good, one more time. Inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, get length. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank. Moving through a vinyasa or coming to down dog. Listening to your body, choosing appropriately. Inhale, the right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, open to the side, warrior two. Inhale, pull back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Come forward and down into a triangle pose. So making sure that that back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle. Front thigh bone cuts back, buttock hugs into the midline of the body. As the hips stack, we can breathe length and space into the spine. Press out through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and center the shoulders into the back body. Chin in line with the sternum. Slide the jawbone back and then shift the gaze up. 3 breaths. And then with an exhale, release. Ground the palm, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Your choice. Actually, not child's pose yet, down dog. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, warrior 1. Exhale, warrior 2. Inhale, pull it back, peaceful warrior. Exhale, straighten the front leg. Shift the hips back as you stretch forward and down into your triangle pose. Back thigh bone is back in line with the knee and ankle. Front thigh bone cuts back and the buttock hugs into the midline of the body to stack the hips. Inhale that lengthened space into both side bodies. And as you exhale, press out through the palms to roll the shoulders together down and into your back. Chin in line with the sternum. Slide the jawbone back. Shift the gaze up. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Ground your palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Either way, return your awareness to the breath. Feel the heat that is being generated in your body through this practice. Heat is another one of the tools that we use in this practice to purify. So breathing that heat into the areas that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, see what you can let go of. Not just in the physical body, but in the mind as well. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And with an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, chair pose. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana, mountain pose. Good. So we're gonna work on some balancing poses now. And the final finesse aspect of the pose is shifting the gaze and shifting the direction of the head and neck. So you're gonna shift your weight onto your left foot to start. Make sure your foot is facing forward. Spread your toes wide. There are many different ways we can do this. Traditionally, yogi toe lock. So taking your peace fingers around that big toe. We're gonna straighten the leg. So if that's what the fuck doesn't feel accessible, you can always interlace the hands behind your back and move kind of more like this. Or if you have a strap, a belt, a dog leash handy, scarf, you can take it around the upper arch and the lower ball of the right foot. Either way, however you're working, we're gonna lift the right knee with an inhale and exhale, extend the heel out. Keeping that standing thigh bone back, lifted thigh bone rooting down. Balance in the pelvis. As you inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and crown. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. However you're holding on, whether you're at the knee or the toe or the strap, with an exhale, we're gonna open the right leg out to the right side. That standing thigh bone is still pressing back. Lifted thigh bone pressing down. Tailbone grounding towards the heel. Inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. And lastly, shift your gaze to the left for 3 more deep, long breaths. Whoa! With an inhale, bring that leg back to center. Take the right leg with the left hand. Lift the right arm up and over, opening behind your back. Standing thigh bone back, lifted thigh bone down. Balance in the pelvis as you inhale, lift abdomen, heart, and crown. Lastly, shift the gaze over the back fingertips. 3 more deep, long breaths. And then inhale back to center. Exhale, bend the knee and release. Good Lord. Why? Shake out your legs. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale through the mouth with sound. Letting go of whatever happened on that first side and moving on, right? Oh my God, I'm breaking my hair tie. The balancing poses really bring out how we speak to ourselves. So softening that voice and remembering that it's not that serious. Lift and spread the toes on the right foot. Outer edge of the foot parallel with outer edge of the mat. Ground down. With an inhale, lift the left knee. Taking whatever variation you took on the other side. Maybe interlacing the hands behind the thigh. Maybe you have a strap around the upper arch and the lower ball of the foot. Maybe you take yogi toe lock. Either way, exhale and extend the left heel forward. Standing thigh bone back, lifted thigh bone down, tailbone roots so the crown can lift. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, open that leg to the side. Keeping the standing thigh bone back, lifted thigh bone down. Inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Exhale, shift the gaze to the right. 3 breaths. Inhale the leg to center. Take the leg in the other hand, whatever that means to you. And then inhale, lift the left arm up, and exhale, open behind you. Standing thigh bone back, lifted thigh bone down. Lift the abdomen, the heart, and crown. Shift the gaze behind you. 3 breaths. Inhale to center. Exhale the knee to the chest. And release. You can shake it out a little bit. Good work. With an inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, chair pose. Exhale the hands to the heart and twist to the right. The left elbow comes outside the right knee. Notice how that left knee wants to come forward. Draw it back. Widen the left hip to the left. Root the tailbone down. Lift the abdomen. Press through the palms to roll the shoulders back. Lengthen through the crown of the head and gaze up. 3 breaths. Inhale back to center and exhale, twist to the left. Widening that right hip to the right as you draw the right knee back. Tailbone roots down. Lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Press into the palms to roll the shoulders back. Lengthen the neck on all sides and gaze up. 3 breaths. Inhale to center. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Ground your palms to prepare for a crow pose. Slight bend in the elbows. The elbows stay over the wrists. The knees come onto the upper arms. The neck is long. The crown extends forward. The head is a counterweight to your pelvis. Starting with the hips higher is going to be easier. Hug the legs and arms together. Lift the abdomen. Lift the feet. Maybe just one is coming off the floor at a time right now. Wherever you're working, as long as you're building strength, you're doing it. Have 3 more breaths. And then we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. You can get there any way that feels good to you. Maybe playing with jumping back and moving through a vinyasa. And then let's meet in child's pose. Have a few breaths. Checking back in with the tension in the body, quality of the breath, and speed of the thoughts through the mind in this moment. Okay. I just need to, how's everybody doing? Yeah, okay. We're gonna do some inversion prep and potential inversion practice. And I never ever used to teach inversions in any kind of online classes because it's really important to have a teacher present to look at what's going on in your body, right? Times are different, changing right now. And the inversions are so freaking beneficial to our body's immune system, flow, like that I think it's important. I'm gonna emphasize like so much that you first watch as I give instructions, especially if you don't already have a strong inversion practice, and then that you thoroughly listen to your body. I'll show you lots of different ways to get the benefits of inversions without actually having to even take your feet off the ground. So you just want to work at a pace and a level that requires a lot of listening to your body. And that is also actually an element of the 5th chakra, so it's really good practice. We'll do a headstand prep and or headstand practice first. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to get real close here and show you what I'm trying to show you. When we do headstand, we're interlacing the hands and we're bringing the whole outer edge of the arm towards the floor. The most important aspect of a headstand is that you are karate chopping that outer edge of your arm into the floor to lift the shoulders up away from the ears. I'm going to show you that from another angle before I talk you through the exercise. So the hands are interlaced. You bring the crown of the head to the floor in front of your hands, and the hands cradle the back of the head. The elbows are as wide as your shoulders, and you press down into the forearms to lift the shoulders up. I'm going to keep reminding you of that as you make downward dog in the legs. Continue to press down into the forearms to lift the shoulders away from the ears as you walk the feet in, lifting the hips high, press down through the forearms to lift the shoulders. You might want to stay right here in this like down dog shape with the head on the floor. Or you might want to play with inhale and lifting the left leg high. Lifting from the inner thigh in the center of the heel as you press that right thigh bone back. Press down with the forearms to lift the shoulders up. Have 3 breaths wherever you're at. And then with an exhale, release and come down into child's pose. And
For those of you on Zoom, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. If you're good, we'll come into that practice on the other side and then have an opportunity to come up into a full headstand if you're not there already. So again, interlace the hands, elbows as wide as the shoulders,
Head goes on the floor in front of the hands. Press down with the forearms and the outer edge of the pinky hands to lift the shoulders. Make down dog in your legs. Continue with each breath to renew your efforts, pressing down with the forearms to lift the shoulders up as you walk the feet in. Moving towards stacking the hips over the shoulders. Press down with the forearms to lift them up. Maybe you want to stay here, or maybe you want to inhale and lift your right leg high. Lifting from the inner thigh, the center of the heel as you press the left thigh bone up and back. Center of the shoulder blades into the midline, 3 breaths. And then with an exhale again, you can release. Come back into child's pose. Just pause for a minute as the equilibrium transitions. And then you can lift your gaze. Do you guys feel like doing a whole headstand practice, or did you already do it, or what do you want? You're good? Okay. Then we're gonna move forward in or move along in the practice. Remember, if you want to do headstand, you can always do it. Let's come to stand on our knees. So the knees are as wide as the hips. The tailbone roots down, the center of the buttocks hugs into the midline. And we're going to interlace the hands behind us. And with an inhale, lift the sternum and lift your gaze. With an exhale, pull the arms away from the back body. Inhale, lift. The gaze, lean back. Use this pose to strengthen your neck so you're not just completely collapsing into the neck. Have 3 breaths. If you want to touch the fingertips down, you can. But keep inhale, lifting the sternum. Exhale, pressing into the hands. Keeping the uniform curve in the spine as you work. And then with an inhale, rise. And exhale, sit back between your heels or sit back on your heels. If that causes any discomfort in the knees or hips, you can take any other comfortable seat. But I like Vinyasa because the pelvis can really root down. And close the eyes for a moment. Feel the stacking of the bones and joints. Lift through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. Chin parallel to the earth. Find that lightness that comes into the body when everything is in alignment. Good work. And then with an inhale, we'll rise onto the knees. One more time. Knees as wide as the hips. Tailbone grounding down, center of the buttocks into the midline. The hips stay over the knees. Let's switch out the crossing of the hands behind the back. Inhale, lift the sternum and lift the gaze. Exhale, draw the arms away. Again, inhale, lift the sternum, lift the gaze. Do not collapse in the back of the neck as you stay with the hands interlaced or touch down on the mat. Wherever you are, 3 more deep, long breaths. And inhale, rise up. Exhale, sit back one more time on the heels, between the heels, or in another comfortable seat. Close the eyes. Stack the bones and joints. 5 breaths.
Good. And then we'll swing the legs around out in front. Ground the fingertips behind you. Roll the shoulders back, lean back. Broaden the collarbone. Chin lifts off the chest. Bring the shins parallel to the earth. Stay here or release the arms or straighten the legs, but keep that broadness in the collarbone. 5 breaths. Good. With an exhale, release. Bring the soles of the feet together. Ground the fingertips by the hips. Inhale, lift the abdomen and the sternum. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Drawing the heart out past the feet, not just collapsing into the neck and shoulders here, right? Keep the shoulders back. Keep the neck long. Create a uniform curve in the spine if you would like as you come down. 5 breaths. Inhale, rise. Bring the legs together. Ground the fingertips behind you once again. Roll the shoulders back. Lift the shins. Maybe lift the hands. Maybe straighten the legs. Collarbone broad. Space on all sides of the neck. 5 breaths. Inhale the knees in, and this time we're spreading the legs wide. Flex the feet, point them straight up to the ceiling. Press the thigh bones down, engage the quadriceps. Inhale, lift the abdomen, sternum, gaze. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Again, being aware of the tendency to just crumple into the shoulders and neck, and keeping the shoulders back, keeping a uniform curve in the spine or the neck long as you stretch. 5 breaths. And inhale, rise. One more time, grounding the feet, leaning back. Kathyuli, what are you doing? Lift the shins parallel to the earth. Choose your own adventure, but keep the chest broad and the neck long for 5 breaths. Draw the knees into the chest, and then extend both legs out along the mat. Ground your fingertips by your hips. Inhale, lift the sternum, pressing the thigh bones down firmly. As you exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Have 10 deep, long breaths. Remembering that you can always grab a chair and just lean onto it if forward folds are not super accessible to you. Also, propping up the hips, you feel like your pelvis is tilted back, so you can actually fold and receive the benefits. Kathyuli, you're so funny right now. With an inhale, rise. We're gonna finish up with a shoulder stand practice. the mother of all asanas. What time is it? We have a few minutes. Good. The most beneficial pose for your immune system. I'm gonna actually just show you a bunch of different variations and ways that you can access it. If you already have shoulder stand as a part of your practice and you wanna go ahead and get into it, that's also wonderful. The main thing about shoulder stand, if you're coming up into the full version of it, is that the back of the head and the shoulders become your foundation. So you press the back of the head and the shoulders down, and then you do not turn your head to look around, to look at the screen, to like try to see what other people are doing when you come up into it. So pressing the back of the head and the shoulders down. I guess I'll show you an unsupported variation. I guess I'll show you a supported variation first. So if you're like, what the fuck is shoulder stand, and I don't feel comfortable doing that, if you have a neck injury, you can always just put your legs up the wall and receive the benefits of inverting. If you happen to have like blankets or pillows or bolsters, and you can elevate the hips a little bit before you put the legs up the wall, it will help create more of the shape of the shoulder stand, where the back of the shoulders and the head are your foundation. This can also be done with your legs on a chair with some blankets to give you that little bit of lift, right? It can also be done by laying down with the head and shoulders on the floor, lifting the hips and placing a block under the sacrum. If you don't have any of these extra things laying around and you want to do an unsupported variation of shoulder stand, I will talk you through that now. So you're pressing the back of the head and the shoulders into the mat, grabbing the outer edge of the mat by the hips, or just grabbing the fingertips by the hips, giving you a leverage to roll the legs up and overhead. The feet touch the floor behind your head, and then you can interlace the hands and roll the shoulders under. Still pressing the back of the head down and lifting the chin off the chest so you can breathe and speak. You're welcome to stay right here in plow pose, working on lifting the thigh bones to lengthen the lower spine. Or you can bend the arms and bring the hands onto the upper back, which is down towards the floor as much as possible. You want to ground the whole hand, palm facing, fingers facing up, and then you can inhale and lift one leg and the other leg up. Pressing the back of the head and shoulders, the back of the arms down to lift through the heels first. Then maybe you want to press up through the balls of the feet. It's not a pike position where you support yourself on your ass, right? You're hugging the center of the buttocks into the midline, looking for that same stacking of the bones and joints that we've been looking for in all of the shapes, just with the head tucked down here. You could have 500 breaths here and it would be really great. But for today, let's try to do 10 to 20 more breaths in whatever version of shoulder stand, supported shoulder stand that you are in. Remembering to continue pressing into the foundation to lift up through the heels. Whenever you are ready to come down, because I don't want you to feel trapped, you're just dropping the legs down behind the head once again, releasing the arms. You're always welcome to pause and have a few breaths again in plow pose, or to bend the knees in by the ears and have a few breaths, Parnapidasana. But when you're ready to finally come out, you release the hands, roll the spine out vertebrae by vertebrae. Remembering that there's no hurry because that pose is so good for you. You want to do it like all day, every day. When the legs do come perpendicular to the floor,
Draw the belly button into the spine. Slowly lower the legs all the way down to the mat. Good. And then we'll rise up onto the forearms, palms facing down. The thumbs are kind of like grounded just behind your booty. Hug the shoulders together on the back. And then lift the sternum, lift the chest. Allow the head to drop down behind you. You kind of have to scoot back, so like the hands will come along the sides of the buttocks, depending on the length of your torso, to bring the crown of the head to the floor. Fish pose, the counter pose to shoulder stand in the Ashtanga tradition. And then you're welcome to stay right here or to lift your hands in prayer above the heart, or maybe to lift the legs in boat pose. 5 breaths wherever you're at. And then pressing down, lowering the legs, pressing down into the forearms to lift the head, chin to the chest, and lower all the way down onto your back. Shavasana, final relaxation. If your body is suggesting that it may like a few other poses, please feel free to listen to your body. Maybe there's a gentle twist, a happy baby, really anything you would like. But once you're done, find some stillness. The feet are as wide as the hips and fall out, unless that causes discomfort, in which case you can bend the knees in close, take them wide, and let the knees fall together, like this. Palms rest facing up at like a 30-degree angle from the body. In general, if the chin is ever jutting up above the forehead, you want to place a pillow or a blanket under the head. The forehead should be slightly above the chin, which is calming for the nervous system, taking us out of fight or flight and into rest and digest. Allow your breath. We'll return your awareness to your breath. And allow it to be so deep and so long that it fills the body from the inside out like a balloon, touching down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, any residual tension, anxiety, criticalness leaves the body with the breath through the fingertips. So through this practice of yoga in general, and Shavasana in particular, our bodies are cleared out. We become lighter and lighter, more and more spacious, more and more able to be present, to respond as opposed to react, to be spontaneous and creative, to come with whatever energy is required in each situation and each moment. Take this moment to savor any quiet, peace, or calm that has come into the body or mind through the practice today. And begin to intentionally deepen your inhales. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Gently sway your head. With an inhale, stretch the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. And exhale, rock from side to side. Massage your low back. When you're ready, roll to the right side body. Pause in that fetal position. Gather your bearings. When you're ready, press down with the palms to lift up and come to a comfortable seated position. Keep your eyes closed for just another moment. Check back in with the quality of your breath, the tension in your body, the speed of the thoughts through the mind in this moment. And then return the awareness to anchor on the breath. We will seal our collective efforts with the sound of Om one time all together. Allow your low body to be heavy, tailbone grounds you down, Inhale, lift and lengthen through the heart and crown. Exhale, roll the shoulders together and down the back. Lean gently back to stack the vertebrae. Align the internal antenna within us that connects us to all things. Inhale deeply. Bring your hands to the heart. Bow the head in gratitude for the tools of this practice that remind us the agency we have on what we choose to focus our awareness on, and the magic and the power of our words to call the next world into being. Thank you guys for being here. I love you.